This is PopXcast, where science fiction meets pop culture. PopX is not affiliated with, nor endorsed by Lucasfilm, Walt Disney Pictures, Marvel Entertainment, DC Comics, or any other mentioned franchise or brand. The opinions expressed are of each individual, and solely do not reflect PopXcast. Sit back, relax, put on your Ninja Turtle onesie, and warm up your chimichangas. This is PopXcast. You are listening to PopXcast, where science fiction meets pop culture. PopXcast. PopXcast. Dan the Man Miller, stay on target 42. What are you doing? What's up, my friend?
I'm having a good night, Joe. You know, I'm just sitting here thinking about zombies.
Oh, man. Welcome, everyone that is tuned in right now to PopXcast. Thank you so much. This is episode number 5 coming to you on this second day of March 2016. And we are so excited to have you guys joining because tonight is something that Daniel and I are kind of up on.
Yeah.
Right, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody has been up on it. This is The Walking Dead, folks. This is The Walking
Get up on it.
Dead, right?
Yeah.
This is where it's been at.
And so we're
just like Scooby-Doo, but messed up.
just twisted
Yeah.
in so many ways.
It's Rick and the gang.
I tell you what, guys, right off the bat, before we get started, we really enjoyed having Matt Roseboom on last week's show. He really made so much and provided so much information about the theme park industry. We were just like mind blown, especially Dan kind of had a small little meltdown there with whole Star Wars land and everything going on. I think there may have been a little bit of, I think you may have peed your pants just a little bit.
I think I scared him a little bit. I mean,
I want to be with you right now.
so can I hug you? Can you
I just
hold
want-
my
I wanna be
hand
near
through the
you.
park, please? I would like that.
So weird. That was so weird.
So
It was good times. It was good times. Good times.
It was awesome.
It was really cool. And we want to thank you. If you guys are planning on visiting the theme park industry down here in beautiful, sunny Orlando, Florida this summer, spring, or whenever, be sure to go and check out Matt's podcast from last week. It's chock full of tons of information that definitely things to look forward to as you make your vacation trips down here. So
Not only that, his magazine is chock full of info. He's got all the best places to go and stay, hotels. He knows, the best rides and venues you should visit while you're down there. So
Yeah,
he
man.
was just a good bevy of info for anyone that wants to go to Orlando and Disney.
he was chock full of information.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But so how was your week been, man? Anything new and exciting going on in Dan's world?
Yeah. I've started. I think I'm going to be starting a new podcast on Sunday nights. Yeah.
Do tell.
Well, one of them is 2 of them are actually in here. Some people I've met. It is called the Galactic Roundtable, a Star Wars Hour.
The Galactic Roundtable. That's got a
TGR.
nice. It's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah, and this is a very, very fun group of people that I met, and I'm really excited to do it. You know me and my wars. I mean, I'm always repping the wars.
You're just bringing it, man.
You can see behind me.
Oh wait, yeah, you got to.
It started.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
nothing
that is
compared to
big,
what I've seen, but this is the baby right here. It's an infant. Soon it'll be an adult.
So before we get into The Walking Dead, I understand that you picked up some comic books this today. Did you get some new books in? I don't know. Did you get some books? I believe as he hightails it, I just like totally threw that one off there. He just like I wasn't prepared for this, Joe.
I mean, you should bust out all the new comic books.
I'm just saying, I mean, but I did happen to pick up a couple of comics. This is what Joe picked up before we get into this, because this is a comic show and this is what we talk about. This is The Dark Knight issue number 4. And this is Mr. Frank Miller's reprise of the Dark Knight role. And I also picked up this beauty, Back to the Future number 5.
Nice.
Epic.
Nice.
Avengers number 6. Look at that vision.
Yeah, I've got to check that one out. Yeah, now that you've been convincing me that this is definitely something I want to pick up. And
I picked this one up for one of our faithful listeners, just because she's just so epically awesome, for Lindsay Badger.
This is a good one.
Badger number 1.
The badge.
Badger number 1. This is for you, Lindsay. I'm going to read it. And then, of course, since tonight is about The Walking Dead, I had to bring out this one. Okay. Walking Dead number 1.
Issue number 1.
Underall number 1. What'd you get, Daniel? What'd you get this week?
Well, I'm going to save the best for last, but I'll start off with, I've grabbed Batman Beyond, issue number 10.
Batman Beyond.
You know, this is not the cartoon that I remembered when I was a kid, okay? DC does some nasty things, and you know what? I'm okay with it.
Pretty adult.
No, it's really good. Yeah. And it's also Robin from the Teen Titans that is actually the new Batman.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's fairly interesting.
It's really cool. Also, I grabbed Spider-Man and Deadpool number 2.
Oh, wait, is that Miles Morales on the bottom?
I think that is Miles Morales.
That is Miles Morales. So it's Peter Parker and Miles Morales in the same. What?
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be. I can't wait to see the portal they open to pull this one off.
That looks pretty epic, right?
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Awesome, man.
And then let's just finish it off with
Darth Vader, number 1. Number 17, Star Wars.
I actually have so much catching up to do with all of my Star Wars guys. I wish I could show you my table right now. It's a spread of
you're preaching to the choir here. You're preaching to the choir. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's something just so magical about buying a comic book, opening it up, physically touching the comic book and opening it up and reading through the pages of what an artist and a visionary has created for us to be able to read. It's magical. It's one of the reasons why we do this podcast. And I know, Daniel, you're a fan of comics just the same as I am, and you probably can agree with me. There's something really cool about opening up a comic book.
Yeah, it's great. And also it's cool to read them out aloud. I've been doing that through my Periscope.
I know you have been.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's a little scary sometimes because people do watch, but you know, it's really cool.
Yeah, but it's fun though. It
fun.
challenges you and it engages you to be able to stretch yourself beyond your comfort zone. And I know you've been doing like Obi-Wan Kenobi and some of those voices, so it's kind of cool, man.
You get
really
to do the voices.
Oh yes, anyway. That's really funny. So I'm styling my beautiful Halloween Horror Nights. This is from Universal Studios. This is Halloween Horror Nights coffee mug from 2012. But on the front is AMC's The Walking Dead.
Nice.
Nice.
It's really cool. It's got the RV on there and everything. I like it.
Oh yeah. So and I just because I didn't have a soda to put it in, I did break out the old Walking Dead koozie.
Nice.
Yeah. But so we're going to dive right into this. And so I guess we should probably throw up some kind of like clause, like should we do like a spoiler clause or something?
Yeah, I think we should. This renders it, you know, we're going to dive deep and recap and, you know, talk a little about what's been going on in the past 11 episodes.
Yeah, something like 11.
Just a brush through and, you know, maybe touch more on the second half of the season.
And maybe give you a little bit of foresight onto the last 5 episodes that we have yet to see.
Yeah.
Coming up from The Walking Dead. But I'm going to say it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spoiler alert.
You have officially been warned. So if you've not caught up on The Walking Dead, we do apologize. All right. So there's your clause.
There it is.
But so Daniel, season 6 has possibly been the most epic season yet of The Walking Dead. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, it's been intense the whole time, right from the start. You know, these guys have been in just I don't even know, a pickle the whole time, having to herd this giant horde of walkers as if they were sheep. You know, it was the crazy. And I mean, the way it all started off was nuts, because you have no idea exactly what's going on.
No,
they just throw you into this, you know,
straight out of season 5, straight into season 6.
Yeah, it was really intense. Like when you first started off, it was, where are we? What are they doing? Why are all these? What are they doing? Just herding these? I was expecting cattle prods, you know.
Yeah, and see, they had found back to back up and give you a little bit of, should we say, some backstory into season 5. By the end of season 5, Rick and the crew had found themselves finding. Oh, that was wonderful! Finding Eric. Eric is, as we know, part of Aaron. Excuse me, Aaron is part of Eric and Aaron from Alexandria Safe Zone. And so that's when we were first introduced to Alexandria for the first time. By season 6, Rick and his group are at the Alexandria Safe Zone. They're settled. Rick's clean shaven. He's taking a hot shower now. So, you know, we get to see a side of the crew that we haven't seen since season 1.
Oh, yeah,
fresh, clean.
They were animalistic. I mean, these guys were feral human beings, like ready to attack and pounce on anybody at the end of season 5, you know. And then they finally met our friends, you know, Aaron and Eric, and they got to see the better side of what was going on there.
And then you have Deanna as well, who is the leader of the Alexandria Safe Zone. But
man, it was sad, that one episode with her.
Yeah, well, we're going to get to that. We're going to cover it here in a minute. Yeah. But you know, I was looking through the comics, and I was everything that we talk about tonight, I want to tie into what issue this happened in the comics. So you guys are going to know by the end of tonight where we are in the timeline of the comic books versus the television show. I've actually done an incredible amount of homework for you guys. So
yeah, your show prep is off the hook, and I did just say that. I did just say off the hook. All right,
it is pretty motivating. I'm actually really proud of it. But
good job.
But I want to take this time right quick. Everybody that's in here, I want you to take this time and be sure to share this for us. Go over and hit the share the last 30 seconds button. That way it'll get us out on Twitter and on social media, and you guys can help spread the word about PopX while we're doing it, okay? But moving forward, we're talking about Alexandria, okay? So the Safe Zone, Daniel, I think was, I know it was first introduced by episode 69. In issue 69 of the comics, rather.
Right. Okay.
So that is the first time we ever see any part of this up in DC area, rural Virginia, which is where they're supposed to be at, but they're actually filming in Georgia.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, we get that drive up in season 5, Rick and the crew driving up to DC. You see DC on the horizon, and they arrive at the Alexandria Safe Zone. All right, so episode 1, season 6. And the episode is titled First Time Again. And I think it's actually really reminiscent when you think about the title versus season 1, episode 1, when Rick is downtown in Atlanta, surrounded in a tank by walkers. Remember this? So season 6, episode 1, again, the crew is surrounded by walkers, but in a different way. They're actually at a quarry, a rock quarry. And you can see a picture of it right here. Look. I mean, just the visuals and the graphics that they did on this was just amazing. And I just, from the moment the season started, I just looked and shook my hand. I was like, this is not going to end well for anybody. Yeah, that many walkers. Intense.
Yeah. And the whole time we find out, you know, that this was a trap.
Yeah. Right? It was a huge trap
set by these wolves.
Yeah, and this was basically a plot to infiltrate Alexandria.
Can you explain to me their end game?
The wolves?
Is it just like to spread chaos and
they're savages, and
that's all it is?
They're savages and they're scavengers. They have no motive but to kill anything that walks, whether you're a human or a walker.
Okay. I just maybe just not reading the comic books. I kind of got lost on their motive.
Yeah, they're just
was a motive, but I never.
Yeah, TGR Star Wars over in the chat room just nailed it. They're animals. Period.
Yeah,
they're savages. Okay. They don't even think clearly. They're not even in the mental capacity to be able to comprehend where they are or what they're doing. They're just they're gone.
Yeah, because when Morgan at that one part is talking to that guy and he's trying to get some sort of sense out of him, he's just not connecting with him at all, and the dude is just gone.
So we have these walkers. You see in this image here, and season 6 kind of starts out like this. The walkers are trapped by these semis. And Rick thinks about this, as Rick always does. He's thinking ahead. What happens if the walkers somehow break free and they find themselves to Alexandria, which is kind of now their safe haven? They got running water. They got hot water. They got food. They got everything they need. Rick's doing everything he can to protect that, because for the first time in 5 seasons, we've seen Rick actually have a sense of home.
And he's feeling like his old self again, you know?
Yeah.
Back to being the sheriff, protecting the town. Exactly.
So we finally see that. And Rick is really, and he's defensive, obviously. You know, he's got his daughter, he's got Carl, he's got the whole group that's been with him for Coral. No, it's Coral, like coral reef. Carl. Anyway, but so fearing that, and this is basically how 1, 2, and 3 starts out, is that we see Rick trying to devise a plan to escort the walkers. They're gonna let them free, and then Rick, Daryl, Abraham, the whole crew is going to escort the walkers. His plan was 20 miles away in the opposite direction from Alexandria.
Yeah,
but the wolves actually had something else in mind, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these guys were good.
These were good. I'm actually kind of glad that the wolves were short-lived as they were, because I just didn't really. I was just like, I really want to be done with them, because they're just that antagonist. This is going to make the season.
They always had the techno music going, and what the heck was up with that crap?
Yeah, there are no foods. Yeah. There are no. Get it? There are no foods.
Yeah.
But so by the time we roll around to episode 2 and 3. Which is JSS and Thank You, we see looming around the safe zone. We're finally introduced to the pack of savages known as the wolves, and this is when they start to infiltrate the compound. And they're all we kind of get a little bit of hints of them after Terminus. We start seeing like dead bodies in the woods with a W on their forehead.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Well, yeah, because they ran into more, like you said, they ran in with Morgan. He was just sitting there. Wasn't he just sitting there eating something or taking a break? And he kind of just came up and sat right in front of him with the gun, just like in this picture. And that's when he first meets him.
Pretty much.
Okay. Yeah. And we saw them before, though, didn't we? They led that guy to that fence and then just like slit his throat or something weird.
Yeah. I mean, it just goes to show you their mentality. They're savages. They have no motive but to kill everything. I mean, it's just so, Rick and the crew, what they do is actually really well orchestrated on their part to get into Alexandria. They're going to have to get the wall, and in order to get through the wall, what do? They take the Arno Foods food truck and plow it right through the wall. Yeah, which allows him to break over the wall and actually get into the compound. And what happens after that is just like bloody chaos. It was like actually like tough to watch, kind of, because you're like, oh no, this is like a little town of, there's kids and you got children playing ball.
It was, it was a serious moment there, and I really I kind of lost it after that. I got to see the Morgan episode, which I believe was right after that, right?
Yeah, the Morgan episode, which is He's Not Here, which is episode 4.
Okay.
We actually, going back to Terminus, going back to that whole time when Rick and the crew are in limbo and they're starving and they're on the road and they have no food.
This is my favorite episode.
This is really good stuff, yeah. At the same time Morgan is on the breadcrumb trail of Rick, because he finds signs of Rick with like terminus signs. See, he sees the things on the trees. He sees.
We got a little taste of that though, didn't we? We knew that he was kind of on their trail. They showed like one little tease of him at the end of the season before that when they left Terminus, right? We got to see one little
right
bit.
at the end. You get like a 30-second thing where he's at the church. He actually walks into the church.
That's right.
Remember that with Gabriel's church, and he's looking around, and then he picks up the map, and he says he sees the map. It says Rick Grimes on it, and he's like. And he realizes Rick is still alive because Rick's been with him through season 1.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I remember when we met Morgan. It was awesome.
And what's really cool is episode 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it was. I just loved how we got to finally see how he was all awesome with this bow staff out of nowhere. And he learns, what was it? Keto or?
Keto?
I think it was. From what I know, the style is all based on reflecting one's energy, redirecting it. It's all about redirecting.
And all things bad can turn good.
Yeah, and every life is precious. Every
life is precious.
Life is precious.
And that's actually not a really bad way to live life if you think about it.
It's not. And the guy got me too. The actor, man, I can't pull his name up.
Eastman.
But
he was
Eastman
great.
was his
character.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly. Was he? What else was he in before?
He played in that actor there. He played the clown on American Horror Story.
Okay, all right. I know he's done some other things too, but I loved his part in this. He's a psychologist. He was a criminal psychologist, and he, he said he's seen the most nastiest, messed up people ever, and he met this one person where he could just tell was pure evil, and he told Morgan this crazy story about this guy, and that jail that he was in as he's telling him the story was a jail that he built in
his cottage.
Yeah, because the guy, this criminal that he that he said was lying, and he got put back in life or whatever, killed his family when he got out, and it was nuts. So I mean, it was a really good episode. I really, really liked that episode a lot.
And that, of course, we get the whole backstory of Morgan.
Yeah.
How Morgan psychologically, he's dealing with the death of his wife, his son, and he's finding these little bits of Rick Grimes, and his group's still alive, and he's onto that. And then he runs into Eastman. He finds a way to deal with it all, and becomes this amazing bow stick warrior who is just a total, oh my God, I've never seen any character like it, and he's just amazing. And that leads us up to what I like to call the big cliffhanger moment of season 6. You remember this one?
Yeah.
Glenn? Glenn.
All right. So I did watch up to that episode. Man, I feel bad because I missed a few before the second half of the season started back up, and I can't remember how he's back alive.
Okay, so what happened was Glenn and let's see here, let me get my notes right.
Yeah, what was his name?
I want to say his name was, I'm looking through, I think his name is Nicholas.
Yeah, because I knew the story between them. Nicholas was a coward. He couldn't handle the pressure.
Yeah, he was getting ready to have a psychotic break, and he was part of Alexandria.
Get ready, he did.
Oh, get ready! Wait for it. We ain't even got there yet. So, the mid-season finale of season 6, leading up to it, was it was like a mid-season. I don't know, but this was the episode before we actually saw Morgan. So this is episode 3 that we're talking about. And Nicholas and Glenn are out on a run to get supplies, and they actually find themselves in this situation. They go down an alleyway, and they're surrounded by walkers. They can't get over the fence. The fence is too tall. They can't go anywhere. They can't get up on the roof. And Nicholas just turns to him, puts the gun up to his head, and looks at Glenn and says, "Thank you," and pulls the trigger.
It was nuts.
So what we think is actually So the next thing we see is the two falling, but then we see Glenn right here. You see that? Look at that. We see Glenn fall, and Nicholas is dead at this point.
Yeah.
And the next thing we see is like walkers tearing open Glenn's chest.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, but see, you could tell though that it wasn't him. Like, when I was watching, it was very intense. It was. It was a very epic and intense scene, and it's not. Everyone was freaking out. Like, no way! I'm gonna stop watching The Walking Dead if Glenn's dead. Ah!
Yeah.
I was like, nah, no way that they did that, because like I feel like it just seemed too perfect that he landed right on top of him when I saw that happen.
And it was definitely a cliffhanger moment. We never saw Nicholas. The cut scene only shows Glenn from the head up, like you're seeing here, and Walker's just tearing it in.
Yeah, and you see like entrails coming out, and it was brutal.
And so we see that, and then that's the cut scene. And then the next episode is Morgan's episode where we learn his whole backstory. So the people have to wait a whole nother week to figure out what the heck happened to Glenn.
That's right.
But then we find Glenn on episode 5, I believe it is, that Glenn has actually found his way under the dumpster. And this is kind of peculiar. I've never seen a dumpster that tall before. So I'm just like, all right, so that's a good 2.5 feet there. I don't know.
They got, there you go. Hollywood.
It's actually, this is funny. Mike, who is running the window over here, we were actually looking at dumpsters in and around that area when we went up to Sonoya. Because I actually will tell you about that here in a moment, about my trip up to the Walking Dead film set. And we were looking at all the dumpsters in the town, and they're all like this much clearance underneath every one of them.
Yeah. You guys were.
This is weird. Okay,
I can't fit under here.
Oh no, this looks a little makeshift to me, but okay. But anyway, I digress. That's a big cliffhanger moment, kind of like everybody was like, "Oh God, Glenn's dying," but I hate to tell you guys, and spoiler alert, this is not how Glenn dies. Glenn dies at the hand of Negan. All right, so he is bludgeoned to death with a baseball bat in the comics. Now, how that will translate into the show, we don't know, but we'll tell you a little bit more about that here shortly as we.
Yeah, and we also know that with the comic books, they haven't stayed true. I mean, people have died that were supposed to die, but they have died in different. When Shane died, he was supposed to die by Carl. No. Rick was supposed to kill him, and Carl ended up killing him, didn't he?
Correct. Carl killed Shane.
Yeah. So I mean, there's just been different twists and turns throughout.
So now we're working our way up. So by this time, the walkers in the timeline of things have actually, what has happened? The wolves had penetrated the wall of Alexandria.
Yeah, that was
they climbed the wall, and during the hit, one of them fell and hit the horn of the semi, which triggered the massive thousands of herd of walkers, and they all just turn and go towards the sound. And so by this time, the walkers have now made their way to Alexandria. See, look at that. There it is, smashing right into the side of
yeah.
So
I did see that part,
and we hear this horn, and that's how the cliffhanger for mid-season finale is they smash in, we hear that horn, and then we're just left like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Just hear this
and then that's how the sequence over.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
And scene.
But fast forward to season 8, start to finish. This is when the tower actually does come tumbling down, and this is the last episode of 2015. When we see that the damage that the wolves have done to the wall and the tower finally takes its toll, and the walkers are pushing up against the wall, and they're putting all their weight on it. It finally takes all it can do. It comes tumbling down, which leaves a gaping hole right in the middle of, and the walkers just walk in by the droves. It's crazy.
This is where I missed these few episodes. And
You're horrible.
I know.
What kind of co-host are you?
I'll be a good co-host in the next few episodes.
I'm just messing with you, dude. But so we see that, and it becomes we're left wondering, okay, what the heck is going to happen? So we have to wait till February the 14th, 2016 to actually find out the answer of what happens with all the walkers in Alexandria. And that leads us up to the beautiful, epic battle of just all hands on deck. Every member of Alexandria grab a weapon, grab a gun, whatever you have, and we're just going to battle through this and kill like thousands of walkers. And
this is No Way Out, right? This is the episode called No Way Out.
Right.
I keep thinking of Stone Temple Pilots, and I keep hearing that No Way Out song from number 4.
Now here's a factoid. And I don't know if they meant to accidentally put this in here or not, but you see the picture here, right? The tower? You see the see the water tower in the background?
Yeah, I do see that.
Do you know what that is? That's Woodbury.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, Alexandria and Woodbury are literally maybe 100 feet from each other.
Oh, wow.
So I saw that in the episode, and I'm like, the governor's still on the loom, huh?
Couldn't have cut that out.
Yeah, they just kept it in, I guess. But so No Way Out, February 14th, the group, they just knuckle down and they get through it. And this is kind of fulfilling a lot of like comic book prophecy.
Okay.
With the gun struggle and Michonne and Carl, because this, I'm telling you, season 6 is crazy. All right, so we got the wolves. We've seen the herd. Now, Carl, we've all been asking the question, when is Carl going to lose his eye?
All right.
This is the episode. This is it.
Was it a Red Ryder BB gun?
No, it wasn't a Red Ryder BB gun.
Wow, I figured it could have been.
We finally see it, because now, from this point forward, Carl always wears an eye patch.
He looks like he took it like a champ.
Wait till you see the next picture here. It's pretty crazy, pretty graphic, but he's just looking at the camera and he's like, "Oh,
that's a boss picture right there."
That is pretty boss. And Chandler done an amazing. I mean, he's just been with it since he was a child, and he's just grown up, and that's all he knows. And
did you know that he actually had an audition to be the young Han Solo?
Chandler?
Yep.
Chandler Riggs.
Yep.
Interesting. We're getting over in the chat room too. They was also tried to be Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man in the new Civil War movie. That's interesting. That would have been cool. But moving on, we got so Carl, kind of tying this into from the show to the comics. Carl was shot. I believe it was in issue number 83 of the comic books. So we've gradually moved up from 69, the introduction of Alexandria. We've moved through the herd. We've moved through the wolves, and Carl is shot in that issue. So now everything's starting to kind of come together. There's a little bit of a timeline. It's not exactly congruent with the comic book timeline, but it's pretty darn close.
Yeah, they've been doing a good job at kind of, towing that line.
And then at episode 10, we're introduced to a character that looks a lot like yourself, Daniel.
Jesus.
Oh, man.
I wasn't even, when I was watching this episode, I was like, wow, this is zombie Jesus. And then he's like, you can call me Jesus. I was like, they do it.
There he is. Jesus. And he's just got those eyes that looks at you. Look at that. Look at that.
Gosh. I feel like he was wearing the mask at first, and I was like, they're doing that just to sell this guy's eyes.
Yeah,
that's crap. That's a bunch of crap, because I'm turned on by him now.
It worked, because you know what? I was actually like I was swinging the other way in that moment. Yeah, it was glorious. Those eyes just pierced through my soul, and they just convicted me to a point to where there was no return.
Yeah.
I'll just leave that nugget there.
Zombie Jesus.
There he is. But we were introduced to him, and who is his community that he's tied to, right? I think it's Hilltop Colony?
Yeah, I guess that's what you could call them. I didn't know that they had a name. I just knew that, I knew that, yeah, they stayed in this like huge mansion, and they have this like, this guy has got it. He even holds his arms out, like, because his ego is so big. Like when he's walking around, it's like, who is this dude? And he's like, he's kind of an a-hole. I don't like him.
Yeah.
It's like we're in this post-apocalyptic world. We're all human beings here, and this, we're exploiting others. I don't like it. I didn't like this guy at all, and I was glad that he got stabbed right in his gut. I feel like he deserved it for some reason.
Oh, you're talking about Gregory?
Gregory, that's his name.
Yeah.
They got the.
Yeah, he was kind of a douchebag.
Yeah,
he was kind of a bad dude. He kind of had a chip on his shoulder. I don't know why.
Right off the bat, I loved how he like pretty much ignored
Go wash
Rick.
up. You need to go wash. Go wash
He
up.
ignored Rick right off the bat. Rick did not like it.
No, he wasn't up all about that.
But
we understand what the chip on his shoulder is all about towards the end of the episode.
Oh yeah, Negan. Yeah.
Negan. He's made a pact with Negan for security. They are protecting him. And the saviors are protecting him.
That's gonna be Negan.
That's Negan, man. That's the dude from the Watchmen.
Yeah.
The Watchmen.
Robert. What is it? Dean.
Yeah, Robert
Dean.
Not Robert Dean. Anyway, but yeah, that's
help us out, chat.
Help us out, chat room.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Boom.
Boom. Look at you, man. Gosh, you're so awesome. You so fly.
I know.
But we understand that the Hilltop Colony, one of the reasons why they're thriving is, one, they've been protected by the saviors and Negan. And two is that they made a 50-50 pact with him. So everything that they have is their produce, their drugs.
Like that's happening anymore, though.
Well, Rick obviously didn't like that idea, and he's like, well, that 50% belongs to us. We're going to go kill Negan.
I'm saying that when that guy came back and stabbed Gregory, is his name, in the stomach?
Yeah.
Remember when he said to him, he said it wasn't enough, the drop? So it seems like that 50% isn't enough anymore. And from what...
that's a good point. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, why can't I think of her name? Marjorie?
Marjorie.
No, not Marjorie. What the hell? Maggie.
Sure.
Maggie. God, why couldn't I think of her name?
Marjorie?
So when Marjorie, what is that? When Maggie was talking to him at the end, she even said, he's demanding, Negan is starting to demand more of you. And before you know it, you're not going to have anything to give.
I didn't even pick up on that. That's awesome.
And that's when she was like, hey, let us take this guy out and give us half, because I'm not some chick you could push the hell around because you're just some piece of garbage. I hate that guy.
A turd monkey.
Yeah, he's a douche.
Yeah.
He was.
But we figure out, though, that the plot thickens as I think the group realizes they faced many foes before. They've went through Terminus. They've faced the governor and all kinds of the wolves. They faced everything that you can imagine, and now they're facing probably. And just, I'm going to drop this ball for you. Negan is still alive in the comics. This character is going to be around for a long time.
Yeah,
So if you think that Rick is going to go in and just kill him,
like
he said,
not Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
No, he's
not the comedian.
No, he's going to be around for a while. So it's going to be interesting, and I know that this confrontation with Negan is going to come at a great cost, and we know what that cost is. If you follow the comics, you know that this is where Glenn will die. So, and of course,
I'm not prepared for it.
It couldn't have come at a more.
Remember the Charger that he was driving around? Remember the good old days?
I know it, man. Driving the Charger right through the middle of Atlanta, right on the freeway there. I know, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful moment. Don't cry, man. Don't cry for me, Argentina. But it is going to be interesting to see how all this culminates and what translates from the comic books to the show. I don't really know. Whoops, what was that? Okay, anyway, I was reading. All right, we got some fun stuff going over. But the Hilltop Colony, the episode that we just had this past Sunday was called Knots Unite. And so that's the first time we were formally
introduced. Wait, isn't it actually Knots Untie? Not to because when he when Knots they asked him, because when he was like, "Hey, how did you get out?" He was like, "Blah blah blah, doors unlock, knots untie," or something like that.
Sorry, I missed.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
You're okay. That's why I gotta have a co-host. I gotta have somebody keep me in line, dude.
I just didn't want you to get mauled by Twitter.
That's all good. Yeah, don't nobody maul me. It's okay. That would be like really weird. But the Hilltop Colony is first introduced in issue 94 of the comics. Now, let me drop this little nugget for you. Negan in the comics is first introduced in issue number 100.
Okay.
We are right there to where this big bad guy is going to be coming on the scene and causing all kinds of chaos. And it's not going to be good, especially for Rick's group.
You're saying the 100th issue is just released, has just dropped?
No, we're actually up to like 156, 157 right now. So there's quite a gap there.
Right.
So yeah, TGR Star Wars over there is actually right on it. I think that the finale is going to be we see Negan, what he can do, and we are just left with the cliffhanger possibly. Now I put a footnote in here just for this purpose because I just wanted you guys to know that this is something that is very serious. The last episode of season 6, number 16, was actually written and produced by Robert Kirkman, the guy who created the Walking Dead comic. It is the first time Robert Kirkman has come on board as producer on the television show series.
Yeah, because I
didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was just going to say it was so violent that they had to actually shoot 2 versions of the ending. One for television and one for release.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's probably because he's going to get bludgeoned to death with that baseball.
It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful, and gory and graphic at the same time. But
I hope it's not like the mountain killing Oberyn type of like beating, because I actually couldn't freaking sleep after I saw that, man.
Dude, there's actually been some scenes in The Walking Dead. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah,
that really tripped me out.
Yeah,
season 6 we got to see the Moss Walker. Remember that walker that come out of the cave and he was all covered in moss?
Yeah, I liked how they've been showing us those different types. The one that was like in the water and it was like its skin and stuff was like falling apart. It was all waterlogged.
Now, I want to share something really cool with the fans, and this is something you're only going to hear on PopX. The Hilltop community, that location, and Herschel's farm are on the same property.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. It's actually owned by the same landowner. So if you go to Google Maps and you get on the Walking Dead Google map and you find Herschel's farm, if you go to the south end of it, you'll find a plot of land that's perfectly square, and that's where they constructed the Hilltop community. Interesting factoid.
It is interesting.
It is interesting. But I think that catches us up pretty much for, in terms of comics and where we are. Of course, there's a lot of stuff in the comics that's not being covered yet on the television show, so it's going to be interesting to see how a lot of this ties in. Still, we have 5 episodes to go on The Walking Dead, so there's so much.
Yeah.
I want to open up the 4th seed. If somebody wants to call in, you're more than welcome to. But
all right, I'm out of here. I'm just
kidding. Look at this. We're going to do this right now.
Oh, man. Trivia.
Who's ready for some Walking Dead trivia? Come on.
Get it in. Let's get it.
All right. Let's
get
do
this trivia
this.
Going.
All right, somebody. Does anybody want to call in while we do this? This will be kind of cool to have a 4th person on the window. Just
If
saying.
anybody knows their Walking Dead trivia.
Because it's about to get epic right now. Oh, yeah. Come on. I don't think we have any takers. There's nobody. Oh, we got one. We got someone coming on.
That's all right. Give him a moment.
So what do you think? What do you think? So type ones in the chat if you enjoyed the conversation that we've had about The Walking Dead. Do you feel like you've caught up? Do you feel like you've learned something tonight? Type a one if you feel like you've actually learned something tonight about The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I know we breezed through a lot of episodes, but I feel like we definitely touched on the meat of each one.
Mm-hmm. The meat and potatoes.
Oh yeah, everyone loves potatoes.
Everyone likes potatoes
because there's vegans in here.
Potato. I'm tomato. Whatever. Oh, here we go. He's calling him. Da 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 da. Yes, I gotta follow this guy. What's up, my friend?
Hey. What's going on, guys?
What's up,
How
Pete?
you doing, man?
What's going on, man?
All right, Pete. So
doing?
it's good to have you on the show, man. Welcome to PopX.
Cool, man. Thanks.
Have you
Welcome
enjoyed
to Blab,
your time
actually?
here?
Huh, yeah, that's the first time I've been on Blab, so
Well,
it's
right,
pretty
man.
cool.
Welcome. Have you enjoyed PopX tonight?
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Cool, dude.
I do TGR Star Wars, the podcast, so and actually Daniel's going to be on he's our new host, so
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, Daniel's great. He's been well groomed, and
he's badass, heavy D.
He's got it, man. All right, so what we're going to do is you're not going to win any consolation prizes for this. I mean, it's just basically bragging rights. And if you think you know the answer in the chat room, feel free to come on over and type it up. And but we got Pete, is it?
Yeah, Pete.
All right, so here we go. Question number 1. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. How does Rick arrive in Atlanta in Days Gone By episode of The Walking Dead? A, driving a tank. B, walking. Or C, on horseback?
Horseback.
What's the chat saying? We got one. Okay. It is correct. You are correct. It is C, horseback.
Boom.
All right. You nailed it. All right, here we go. You ready for this? True or false? Carol's wife-beating husband is named Ed. True or false?
True.
Correct.
Yes.
Man, this guy knows his trivia. This is good.
We're going back. We're going back,
man. Season 1, season 2.
Oh, what do we got? We got any toughies?
Well, we're getting there. Who is the last walker that comes out of the barn in season 2, episode 7 of The Walking Dead? Merle, Sophia, or Herschel's wife?
Sophia. What C was it?
A, B, or C? Merle, Sophia, or Herschel's wife?
B, Sophia. Yeah.
Correct. B. All right. What building was used in the CDC in the wildfire episode of The Walking Dead? The CDC building?
Mm-hmm.
Was it A, the Peachtree Summit #1, B, Atlanta City Hall, or C, the Cobb Energy Performing Building?
Was it C, the Cobb, I think? Or
C, it is C, the Cobb Energy Performing Arts Center.
All right.
Very good.
Sweet.
All right, true or false? The Dixon brothers, T-Dog and Jaquai, are not characters in the original comic book series of The Walking Dead.
Are not characters?
True or false?
True.
That is correct. Dang, dude.
That is good. Yeah.
All right. A couple more here and we'll move on. What handgun does Rick in The Walking Dead usually carry? A Browning Buck Mark, B, a Colt Python 357 Magnum, or C, Commander Classic Bobtail?
Python.
Correct. You are, sir, for the win.
That is a good gun.
This guy's crazy.
Badass.
I'm telling you, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You ready for the last one?
All right, dude, let's do it.
Which character in The Walking Dead refers to Rick as Officer Friendly? A, Merle, B, Michonne, or C, the Governor?
Merle.
What does the chat say?
Is it Merle? I can't remember.
Officer Friendly.
Hey, Officer Friendly.
That's
It
Merle.
does sound like a
That
Merle.
is-
Yeah,
that's
it
a-
does. Yeah. Oh, wow.
That's awesome, dude.
Man,
Dude, thanks so much for playing with us, man. That's
Hey,
awesome.
no problem, dude.
Hey, Pete, since you
Yeah,
got
what's up?
every question right, why don't you, if it's all right, Joe, just plug the TGR stuff.
Go for it.
Go ahead. You know everything. I actually don't know all the information, and I was going to plug it with my
See,
info.
Pete, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a podcast. We're on every Sunday. The episodes usually air on Tuesdays. We explore everything Star Wars. We usually start out with news, and we go. We have some quite intelligent topics that we discuss weekly. This week we're just doing Rebels, but we kind of play it up. We had a glass ceiling episode where we explored women in Star Wars.
That's interesting.
Psychology of Star Wars. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. It's a cool show. I mean, it's not for young kids, but
so it's the Galactic Roundtable of Star Wars.
Yeah, the Galactic Roundtable.
What's your web address?
thegalacticroundtable.net.
thegalacticroundtable.net.
Yes,
Write
and
that
we're
down.
on iTunes,
right.
Podbean, Twitter, or Twitter at TGI Star Wars.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, dude, it's great having you on
man.
board.
It's a good show. I've listened to probably 5 episodes already of the 10 that are down, and I've really enjoyed every topic they were talking on. It was funny. I was messaging them today as I'm listening to the podcast. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like touching on topics that they were talking about, and I'm like, man, I wish I could just jump in on this, but I will now. So it's going to be a good time. And
cool. Right.
Good show.
Well, I'm gonna say goodbye to you for now, but we're gonna continue on. But Pete, you're always welcome to come back to PopX, man.
Thanks for having me,
man. Thanks for having me.
All right, man.
Have a good night, man.
You too.
So we got the last little bit of the show. Daniel, excited for these last little nuggets we're going to drop?
Yeah. Let's do it.
We got a contest coming up,
right?
We got a contest, guys. All right, this is going to be like so easy that even a caveman can do it. I just totally ripped. All right, listen, this is going to be fun. All you got to do to get entered into this contest is go to iTunes, use your username, and leave us a 5-star rating and then a review. It can be one sentence. Anything you want to say that's positive. Okay. All right. So here's what's going to happen. We've already got some entries this week because we kind of prematurely announced it on the Facebook page. But what we're going to do is everybody that enters on March the 30th, 3 weeks from now, we're going to put all those names from the people. I'll go in the night before, write everybody's name down that reviewed us, and you're going to be entered in to win 2 things. Daniel, what do you got over there?
Well, I've got myself a $10 valued Steam game for Metro Warp.
Ooh.
Looks fun. I don't have the ability to play Steam games through my Xbox One, so I figured every one that I get, I will be using them
For giveaways.
Exactly.
Also, to tag on, here's what else you're going to get when your name is pulled out of the hat. This is really cool. I actually had this printed up just for you guys. It's going to be a signed print of the Joker, Cesar Romero from the Batman Classic Show. This is by yours truly. I do some graphic design and some comic book artwork. So
it looks really good, man.
So I'm going to sign this for you, and I'll actually can personalize it if you want to whoever the winner is. And but this is an original piece, one of a kind, and it's an 11 by 14 print. And I will mail it to you, and it will get to your house, and then you'll have. So to wrap up, to recall that last couple, go to iTunes this week and the next week and the week after that until March 30th. Leave us a comment, leave us a 5-star rating, and give us a good review, and I'll write down your name. And on March 30th, we will randomly draw, and you will win a prize. Okay, easy peasy,
lemon squeezy,
lemon squeezy. Daniel, what's coming out? What's coming out on Netflix for March? What's coming out? What's coming out like in the whole month of March? You got any tidbits for us?
We've got House of Cards. I've not yet to see this show yet. I've been told to watch it. I have to check it out. There's so many things I do need to catch up on, but Kevin Spacey's he's awesome. I loved him. I was
he's
so
freaking Kevin
mad.
Spacey. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I was so mad because his Lex Luthor was awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like his Lex Luthor would have been great now, still.
Yeah.
But it was just used in the wrong movie. But anyway, so we've got House of Cards season 4 coming out, and then we've also got that's a March 4th, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
We've also got Daredevil. Daredevil. Oh, guess he's coming. Frank Castle, the Punisher.
Not only that, but Elektra. You see her. You see her sigh there.
I see the sigh.
Yes, it's going to be so epically awesome, dude.
Yeah, I can't wait for
Hell's Kitchen is going to light up, man.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait to see because Shane from The Walking Dead. I don't know the actor's name.
That's why I did this. There's a tie-in.
It's great. I don't know his actual name, the actor's name, but he is going to be the Punisher. And I think when you saw John
Brenthal,
okay.
Brenthal.
Yeah, when you saw him at the end when he started going nuts and shaving his head at The Walking Dead, I thought of that.
Yeah.
I was like, that is a Punisher right there. That is a good
it's like one of those moments in TV history when you realize it's like a prediction moment. Like, is that the Punisher?
Yeah, I think he'll do a great job. And I mean, he is the Punisher is all about absolute justice.
Yeah.
It's great. Pee-wee. Wait, what? How did I not know about this? Pee-wee's Big Holiday drops on Netflix March. I'm glad I got to do this one because I had no idea this was coming on. It's great.
It's the first time we see Paul Reubens reprise his role, with the exception of his theater thing that he did a couple years back on HBO. This is a full-length feature film, and if I'm not mistaken, scored by Danny Elfman.
Well, I love the way Pee-wee talks in the movies.
I know you are, but what am I? All right, anyway. And what's the last one we got of this month coming out? It's The Big Bad.
Batman versus Superman, my friend.
March 25th. Oh, yes.
With you?
The Dawn of Justice, man. What is it?
I thought she was with you.
That's so awesome. No, she's not with me. It's so cool.
That was the one part that I liked. It looks like DC, because wasn't there a rumor, an actual thing floating around where DC wasn't trying to bring any comedic elements into their movies, right? There was something I was hearing about that, and I feel like
I have no idea.
That part right there feels like it was a little, funny bit that maybe they are trying to slowly throw in a little bit of comedy here and there because they need to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, as epic as all the Marvel movies have been, they threw the comedy in there. It was great. Language.
Well, guys, we are wrapping up, and I want to just let you guys know about next week's episode. We will be catching up on everything the Arrow, Flash, DC's Legends of Tomorrow. So if you're not caught up, now is a great time to do that. Tune into our official show next week as we're going to be talking about Oliver Queen, Barry Allen, and the whole gang. And some Supergirl tie-ins as well. So there's a team-up between Supergirl and Mr. Barry Allen, the Flash. So we get to see that. That's going to be so freaking awesome next week. I can't wait to dive into that. I'm a huge DC fan, so I'm excited for that.
You're not going to see me online much next week because I'm going to be shotgunning all these episodes.
Well, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, it is PopX. So
it's PopX.
Take us out, Daniel. What else we got here? Tell people how they can find us.
Oh, well, you guys can find us on all the social media platforms, networking platforms, Facebook, Twitter, our PopX.com, PopXcast.com website. We have some swag.
And that's another official announcement. We do have official swag. The actual store is open. So if you guys are curious, I'll throw that up for you. We have T-shirts and iPhone cases and Samsung cases, hats, sweaters, hoodies, coffee mugs, you name it, we got it. Mouse pads, buttons, the whole 9 yards. And that's on PopXcast.com. And I do want to say that all proceeds from this will not go into our wallet. It will actually go to funding things like our Podbean account and stuff like that. So just keep that on the back burner, and all this stuff will be actually going to us. So,
yeah. And, if you have any questions, you want to talk to us, I'm at stayontarget42 at Gmail. You can email us at PopXcast at Gmail. I'm on Twitter. Everything that I am on the social networking platforms is all Stay on Target 42. That is me.
On the interwebs.
Yeah, on those interwebs, I am Stay on Target 42. So, Joseph, what do you got going on? Please lay down your stuff.
All right, so what we got here is I want to let everybody know, be sure to check out the swag store. We got everything in the world that you can imagine. And PopXcast.com, of course, is your central hub for everything PopX. So if you want to know what the next episode is, or you want to catch up on some stuff we've done previously, check out PopXcast.com. Got everything right on the front page for you. Easy peasy. Right there. Right for you. But I think that's it from all of us here. Remember, we got DC coming up next week. Flash and Arrow will be a great show. Want to give it up to my man over here, Mr. Mikey Polito. Mikey doing his job and doing his thing. Look at that. Oh, you're welcome. Look at, that's so great. Look at Jerry.
I love Tom and Jerry.
Jerry taking a bow. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. PopXcast. I'm Joe, and I'm at I Strive to Thrive.
And I'm Dan, and I'm at Stay on Target 42.
All right, guys. Don't do anything we wouldn't do. Get your geek on. We'll see you next time.
Later.
Bye.
From everyone at PopXcast, thanks for listening. Be sure to give us a 5-star rating over on iTunes and subscribe for more great content. Drop us an email, popxcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Blab, and YouTube at PopXcast. Get your geek on.